Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel. May Kadosh Baruch Hu, may God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Parsha Perspective is also in honor of a birth of a baby boy to my dear friends Lior and Eden Hemo. May Kadosh Baruch Hu grant them and give them the bracha and the koach and the ruach to raise this baby boy with health and happiness in the ways of Torah and Mitzvahs. Before I begin, this episode marks a significant milestone, episode 300 of the Parsha Perspective. Traditionally, the number 3 represents a chazaka, a strength, a foundation so strong that it becomes enduring and everlasting. It is a call to build upon what we have established and push forward with renewed strength and energy. The number 100 carries the weight of consistency and dedication, symbolizing actions repeated so often they become internal truths. Together, 300 episodes represent not just what we have accomplished, but the responsibility to continue growing and solidifying this mission. I hope these past 300 episodes have inspired and uplifted you as much as they have me, and I look forward to journeying together through the next 300 episodes as we learn, grow, and unite and lead ourselves and the rest of the Jewish nation and the world towards the ultimate redemption with the coming of Moshiach. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Vayishlach, Yaakov to Yisroel. Our Parsha begins with Yaakov Avinu returning home to Canaan after more than 20 years of absence. Still fearful of Esav, Yaakov sent messengers with a message of reconciliation to Esav. However, they return with a very grim report. Esav was preparing to meet him with 400 men. And in response, Yaakov sent Esav an extravagant gift of hundreds of cattle, donkey, and camels, and hoping to appease his brother's anger, and then he splits his family into 2 camps, reasoning that if one was attacked, the other one could escape. And finally, he turned to God in prayer, pleading for mercy and pleading for protection. The night before he was to meet Esav, he moved his family and his belongings across the Yabok River. After everyone had crossed except for him, Yaakov meets an angel, and they wrestle and fight till dawn. When the angel wanted to depart, Yaakov refused to let him go without a bracha, without a blessing. And as a result, the angel gave him a new name, Yisroel, meaning Prince of God, symbolizing his perseverance and strength. After 2 decades apart, Yaakov and Esav finally meet face to face. Yaakov bows down 7 times and embraces Esav as they cry together. Esav, curious about Yaakov's entourage, asks him, "Who are all these people with you?" And Yaakov replied, "These are all the children whom God has graciously given to your servant." The brothers parted peacefully, Esav heading to Har Seir, mountain of Seir, and Yaakov continuing his travel and his journey back to Canaan. However, a question comes to mind. One of the more interesting elements of the story is why Yaakov Avinu went back across the Yabok River after his family had already crossed. According to most commentaries, he returned for some small jugs or belongings that he had left behind. But at this point in time, Yaakov Avinu was extremely wealthy. He possessed a lot of gold, silver, and thousands of animals in his herds. Why would he trouble himself to go back for something that was seemingly insignificant? Wouldn't they be inconsequential compared to the immense wealth he had accumulated over his many years of work? What compelled him to retrieve these small, forgotten vessels? The Rabbeinu B'Chayer of Bach Ibn Usher gives an interesting explanation, and he learns from here that the righteous, that tzaddikim, that chassidim, people that are pious, treat all their belongings with care, and regardless of the material value. Every item, no matter how small it is viewed as a bracha, as a blessing, as a gift from God, entrusted to them with a purpose and a meaning. And this story shapes their profound sense of gratitude and responsibility for what they have been given from God as a blessing to share with others. Alternatively, the Rabbeinu B'Chayer quotes the Medrash Rabbah that suggests that these vessels were used by Yaakov Avinu's young children, and he crossed back over the river not simply to retrieve these vessels, but to ensure that his children would have what they need for the journey ahead. And this simple act highlights his attentiveness and his devotion to their needs, even at the potential risk of himself. However, the Rashbam, Rav Shmuel ben Meir, one of Rashi's grandsons, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He challenges the conventional understanding of the story, and he offers a perspective that is both deeply profound and necessary to fully grasp the significance of the story of Yaakov's journey. According to the Rashbam, Yaakov Avinu returned across the Yabok River not to retrieve the forgotten belongings, but to avoid the encounter with Esav altogether. Despite his careful preparations, his gifts, his prayers, and dividing his camp, Yaakov was overcome with fear and sought and desired to flee. And in response, God sent an angel, appearing as a man to confront him directly. And this was no ordinary encounter. It was divine intervention meant to push Yaakov to confront his fear, to face the challenge he dreaded, and to emerge even stronger through that struggle. While many commentaries discuss the identity of this angel and the purpose of his visit, the Torah leaves the encounter intentionally ambiguous. The pasuk describes their exchange. Vayishal Yaakov vayomer higida na shmecha, vayomer lama zeh tishal lishmi vayivarcha Esau isham. Yaakov said, "What is your name?" to the angel, but the angel said, "Why are you asking me my name?" And he blessed him and he left. The angel's refusal to share and reveal its name underscores the mission, not to offer explanations, but to compel Yaakov to rise to his potential. This moment wasn't about identifying the angel, but transforming Yaakov Avinu. The struggle forced Yaakov Avinu to recognize his inner strength and overcome his fear in facing Esav. It was not just a physical battle, but a spiritual awakening. Wrestling with the angel molded Yaakov into Yisroel, one who wrestles with God and prevails. And through this test, Yaakov Avinu learns that his faith, his composure and courage would enable him to face Esav with confidence, not as the fearful Yaakov, but as Yisroel, the Prince of God. What is described as just a man, understood by most commentaries as an angel, known to Yaakov Avinu as God himself, became the vehicle, became the vessel of transformation. A new person was born. A new version of Yaakov emerged. A new perspective was given to the formerly afraid, to the formerly hesitant Yaakov, who became the prince, the warrior of God. And this transformation is hinted in the pasuk. Vayikrav Yaakov Shema Makam Peniel, Kiraisi Elikim Ponim El Ponim Vatitzal Nafshi. And Yaakov named the place Peniel, meaning I have seen God face to face, the face of God, and yet my life was saved. This transformation wasn't just physical, it was an awakening of Yaakov's identity as Yisroel, one who wrestles with God and prevails. And this transformation was a fulfillment of the promise made to him by God early in his journey in last week's Torah portion. V'hine anochi mach, ushmarticha b'chol asher telech, v'ashavesicha el ha'adama hazois ki lo yazveka. I am with you, I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land, and I will not abandon you or leave you until I have done what I have promised. In this pivotal moment, Yaakov Avinu experienced the truth of that covenant, of that promise. God had not only not abandoned him, but was shaping him, preparing him for this monumental role that he was destined to fill as Yisroel, the namesake of our nation. The duality of Yaakov and Yisroel is not lost on us. It mirrors the very essence of our history, the narrative of our existence, and the focus we must carry with us each and every day. While we strive to stand tall and firm, there are moments where we find ourselves sitting on the back of our heels, hesitant, afraid of what monumental success that actually awaits us if we truly embrace the mission and accomplish what we set out to do. Modern history serves as a profound lesson in the capability and the capacity within us. If the extraordinary feats of the IDF and the other security organizations within Israel accomplishing what seems to be pulled from the pages of fiction aren't proof, then what is? From dismantling Iran's air defenses and neutralizing all its proxies, obliterating Syria's military infrastructure in a single day, the question remains: what would happen if Israel's government acted with the full confidence in the limitless potential of its people? If they would truly embrace the Yisroel within them and shine with all its brilliance, embracing their divine mission with unparalleled strength that defines us. And as we approach the holiday of Hanukkah, this perspective becomes even more relevant. Hanukkah is not just a tale of physical courage, but a testament to spiritual resilience. It teaches us that even the smallest spark of divine light can obliterate overwhelming darkness. It is a reminder to those who seek to destroy us. You never have succeeded, nor will you ever succeed in extinguishing the Jewish people. For God, His Torah, and His infinite love are wisdom. The message of Hanukkah is clear. Be the spark of light that overwhelms and annihilates the darkness. In our daily life, it is imperative to recognize that we are capable of achieving true greatness. The first step is to ask ourselves, what if we truly lived up to our potential? What if we stopped doubting ourselves, stood tall, and embraced the journey with courage, with determination, and trust in God's promise and God's potential and God's belief in you? And the answer lies not in the enormity of the task, but in the strength of our conviction. There's a profound quote from Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory. The antidote to fear is faith, and a faith knows that there are dangers, but never loses hope. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.